right, so my name is Tre Straughter. I normally go by Trey. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I'm a PR major. So I'm in public relations in the Richard T. Robertson School of Media and Culture.
Great. And we can start off with why did you choose that major?
Okay, well, for me specifically for PR, I really love people. That's my biggest passion is networking, artistry, and people. So a lot of my first jobs, like I worked at King's Dominion and I did a lot of volunteer work in high school, and a lot of those things were really important to me. And at the time, I was a little bit more, I would say a little bit more introverted than normal, but it was the things that I did in high school that kind of pushed me outside of my box. So PR just seemed like a great fit for me. It was just the people, the positivity. I liked pushing people to do their best, and that's what I like about PR is that public branding and that image and that consulting for their representation and their reputation in general. So yeah,
That's awesome. So I guess sort of getting out there in front and doing that PR scope. When you got to VCU, sort of talk a little bit about your student affairs experiences through volunteering or organizations and clubs, and what you kind of learned from all those.
Yes, so I was a transfer student when I first came here, fall 2013. And before I got involved with student affairs, I probably was like, I don't really know what student affairs is. So my first lead-in was homecoming. One of my friends, she was assistant director the year before I was entertainment intern. So that's how I got my start. I started as an entertainment intern, volunteering, working at the events, and a lot of my coworkers actually within the committee, they told me, they was like, why don't you, apply for a position? I said, okay. So I applied for originally entertainment chair, but I also put assistant director, and I got assistant director. So with that, it kind of I want to say segued into my leadership here at VCU. So it was very critical for me as a transfer student to set the tone differently for what is normally expected of not only just transfer students, but also commuter students, because I'm a commuter student as well. So once I got involved, it was just great. And then we did conferences. So I went to NACA and got to participate with a lot of other students on different campuses about campus activities and roles. And then I did iLead, which is on like kind of like a leadership conference. So it was pretty cool. I got to make 36 new best friends, and we still talk to today, and we see each other all the time, and we have our own little Facebook group where we like send each other events and stuff. But from there, it's been great. And I've been a part of a lot of different conversations. I've been a member of the Make It Real campaign as well. For me, it's just been awesome to have a voice on campus, and that's really what Student Affairs has done for me. It's just giving me a voice to educate others and advocate for those like me on campus, so yeah.
That's fantastic to hear. And this probably parlays a little bit into that, but sort of talk about what makes the VCU experience for you.
For me, as cliche as it is, VCU makes it real for me. I'm a transfer student, and I kind of spoke to this a little bit on Facebook in reference to VCU's push for diversity and inclusion. And I said I'm a minority, I'm also queer identifying, and me being here as a transfer student, as a super senior, as all of those different, intersectionals, it's just one of the bigger things for me as far as like being here. That's what VCU has made real for me. I don't feel like my experience is that much different from those around me. So outside of diversity, I feel included, so that inclusivity is there, right? And I just feel great about that. Like that's what I like about VCU is push for progression and inclusion of all members on campus. So yeah.
That's fantastic. And any sort of, you've done a lot already, but anything else you aspire towards doing before you graduate, or is there anything that you've already done that you've really enjoyed?
Besides just graduating?
Yeah, exactly.
But for me, the big thing that I would really like to do on campus before I leave, there's still a lot of conversations around diversity and inclusion, and that's something that I really want to kind of like take away, not take away, but let me kind of clean that up. What I'm trying to say is that I would really like to be a forerunner in that movement and diversity and inclusion and having a long-standing commitment to it is what I'm saying. So I want one of the key takeaways for me to be from when I leave VCU is that I had a voice in making decisions for others and helping others be included in the conversations or having a seat at the table that they may have not felt like they had one before. So rightfully so, I feel like transfer students, I want to be able to say that I had a voice for transfer students to feel like they were included and they could be a part of a lot of the bigger conversations on campus, as well as commuter students. Parking is definitely hectic for us, but I want for it to be more than that. I want for people to look past just how I get to and from campus. And just as a minority in general, as well as being queer identifying or a member of the LGBT community, I would really like for people to feel like they can have a voice on campus. They don't have to necessarily go into spaces where it's just them, but they can feel included in the bigger group and in the larger mass of the conversation as well.
Right, really sort of embracing that. You hear a lot, we're diverse, but then diverse in pockets, right?
Right.
Where you can sort of be diverse, but then go and enjoy everybody else around you, not just that.
Right. You definitely just want to move away from being cosmetically diverse, and that's a term you hear a lot around campus. It's just being cosmetically diverse, meaning you can see it, but is it really there? Are we really intersecting those lines when we think about the events that we host and the programs and how we're treating students, not just as far as race and ethnicity and culture, but also as far as GPAs. And that's a huge thing that I've tried to push for in our department, is having programs that do not separate out so much those who may be 2.5 or lower. Let's try to create some things for students so that they still can achieve and benefit. That's the whole reason they're here at college, is to matriculate and move up and progress. So let's try to find some programs that honor them as well and honor, whatever their commitments or their engagements or, passions are as well. So.
And speaking a little bit about those progressions, upon graduating, what career aspirations do you have?
My career aspiration for me specifically is just to be an image consultant. I really want to work for a brand, preferably Disney, because I love Disney. I sing show tunes all the time. That's a huge thing for me. I would really love to work for Disney, but the bigger part of it is I want to work within the music industry and help to represent a client and build their brand from the ground up, or if it's that they just have had poor image consulting before, that I can be the person to kind of help leverage their engagement and their image among the public. So that's really what I want to focus on, or being a publicist. That'd be great.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And I'll wrap up. Last question. Obviously, you've covered a lot of topics today, but looking at your career at VCU, sort of any advice or any words of wisdom you would have for current students at VCU, or even students looking to possibly transfer here, what would you tell them?
I would say don't let the fear of the unknown hold you back. That's a major thing for a lot of students when they become commuter students, either because things come up and they're not able to live on campus, or even if they're a transfer student, they're coming from a different school, or just coming into college in general. Don't let the fear of the unknown hold you back. There are people here who are welcoming and embracing of all people. So definitely get involved, get active, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Everyone's here to help you out, students included. So definitely do that. So.
Great. Awesome. This is very good.